All right, so in this lesson, we're going to look at different sorts of angles that we'll look in future years, and including this one. But adjacent angles essentially just means angles next to each other, okay? So we're going to look at a few examples of them, but adjacent, essentially, this is what I tell my students. Jason lives next door, adjacent angles are next to each other. So if you're sitting next to someone, you're sitting adjacent to them. All right, so it's just next to each other. And the learning goal will go a little bit further. It says recognize adjacent angles that can form right angles. They're very important. Straight lines and angles of revolution. So we're going to look at all that. Revolution will also be angles at a point. So just be aware of that. So what I need you to do is copy down the title, copy down the learning goal. If you need to pause it, pause it. Make sure the date is in your book, and off we go. All right, so these are types of adjacent angles, all right? So adjacent just means next to. Next to, all right? So adjacent angles are just next to. So that looks like I've made a new word. Let's go next to, all right? And that means you're next to it, okay? So we have two types of adjacent angles here. We have BDC and also ADB. So they're next to each other. So that's next to one another. It's simple as that. I don't know what else to do. So that is next to this one. All right. So let's write it out. Angle BDC is adjacent to, and I'm just going to highlight this again, to BDA. So let's write that. BDA. Okay. Now this next one is really important. These are type of angles that are next to each other, adjacent angles, but they're complementary. Okay. Angles. Okay. Now, complementary, what makes things complementary angles? It's simply this thing here, which means 90 degrees. So complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. Really important that we know this. So this has to be clear in your notes, and you have to clearly put that in. Okay, so complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. All right. The next one is another set of adjacent angles, or angles that are next to each other, but it's got a different name, and it's called supplementary angles. Okay, so supplementary angles, guess what they add up to? They don't add up to 180 degrees. 90 degrees. They add up to what? How many degrees is that? 180. So angles, and we've already talked up to this, they add up to what? To 180 degrees. So really important, write these in your notes. Make sure that they're clear and in bright lights. Okay, if you're finished doing that, if not, pause it. Make sure the notes are very clear. We're going to do some question. So find the complement of 30 degrees. Now, complementary angles are angles that add up to what? 90 degrees, yeah. So they add up to 90 degrees. So that means the complement of 30 has to be a number that equals 90 degrees. Because remember, complementary angles add up to 90 degrees. And some of you are already saying it. It is 60. So 60 degrees is the complement of 30. Now, what is the complement of 45? What number plus 45 equals 90 degrees? Well, it's another 45. So the complement of 45 is, and I'm going to write it out, the complement of 45 degrees is actually 45 degrees. Because what's 45 plus 45? That is 90 degrees, which is what we need. Now, you might get questions like this, but you're going to get questions more often like this. And it's saying, find the complement of this one. So it looks like it's 20 degrees in here. So, and that's a 90-degree angle. So how many degrees are left? Well, hopefully you can see it is 70 degrees in there. Okay, so if I say this is x, this angle here, then x equals 70 degrees. All right, we're going to do the same thing for supplementary. Make sure you write these down. What's the supplement of 30? Now, we're not adding up to 90 anymore. Remember, supplementary angles add up to what? 180 degrees. So what is the supplement of 30? So what number plus 30 equals 180? The supplement of that will be 150. Because 150 plus 30 equals 180 degrees. What's the supplement of 120? So how many more do we need to get to 180? 60 degrees. All right. And let's call this A. What's the angle there? What's the supplement? Well, we've got 40 degrees here. So how many degrees do we have left? This total thing is what? 180 degrees. Therefore, A will equal 140 degrees because 140, let's go, plus 40 degrees equals 180. So that's not, don't write that down, I'm just showing you why. So the answer is 140 degrees because supplementary angles must always add up to what? 180 degrees. Okay, there's one more type of adjacent or next to angles that we've got to look at, and that is angles of revolution or angles at a point. Now, these ones we looked at, it's a whole turn, so it's a whole turn around the sun, and it's 360 degrees. So what's this angle here? Let's call that N. All right, sorry, I'm going to use a different pen. N. What is that angle there? Well, angles at a point have to add up to 360. So what number plus 50 equals 360? It should be, you can go 360 minus 50, and it equals 310. And our reasoning is angles at a point. All right, that's the end of the examples. Good luck with your work. Peace out.